Why the fuck does it not pick up the source? I don't want to do tech support right now. I'm stressed out. I just want to play the fucking game. Why does it not detect it? Why did they release this game so broken? It doesn't fucking work. Runs like shit. It's full of bugs. Just work, please. Alright, good. Fucking dumb. Why does it not just automatically work? It's probably gonna run like shit because this game is optimized like garbage. I wish this was made by Japanese people. I wish they just got a Japanese studio to make it. I knew that it was gonna be not good as soon as they said that it was gonna be Western developed. Why couldn't they get Japan to do it? Then it would actually work. Why couldn't Capcom do it, or Platinum? Why does it have to be some Western studio that doesn't know how to make an action game? Because none of them do. Should not let America make action games. Or Europe. It should only be Japan. They're the only ones that know what they're doing. I can't believe the state this game released in. I hate how much say publishers have, because they just want their money. It's like, well, it's backfiring, because the game is getting a massive backlash for barely functioning and having pretty fun combat. The grind is actually quite fun, but the game doesn't work. It's broken in like almost every facet. I don't want to play that. It's just more boring, slow-paced Western shit. No thanks. I only got this because I got a donation. It's the only reason. And there's nothing else to play. There's nothing good coming out anymore. So I'll just shitty Western stuff and shooters and battle royales and walking sims. Nothing I actually want to play. At least Korea can make decent combat, but they suck at optimizing their games too. Which is weird because they're a country that almost exclusively games on PC. So you'd think that optimization would be like a priority when there's no consoles to fall back on. Most people that over there don't game on console, but a lot of their games run like shit. I've played my fair share of Korean action MMOs over the years, and all of them run poorly. Closers is a slideshow and raids. It's like
Hill
barely
here.
playable.
We found a facility where AIM is preparing to spin up another fake arc reactor. We all know how well that went last
Critical
time.
only uses
We have
one
to put a stop
CPU
to it.
core, so once you get to a raid, it's like literally like 5 FPS. It's not even functional. That's why I stopped playing that game. I was having fun playing that game. I liked a lot of aspects of that game. And I made it work on the controller quite well, but I'm not devoting time into any game where all the relevant, challenging endgame content doesn't run at an acceptable frame rate. It's not fun dodging, like, massive hitboxes that can one-shot you in, like, 2 FPS. I can't believe that they localized that game and they didn't bother to actually update the client or the engine to make it run like, you know, what you would expect from a modern game. Shitty performance is not acceptable. I'm glad people are starting to not settle for less. Actually realizing that the game needs to run at 60 FPS locked all the time or more. None of this stuff like this game where apparently on PS4 it runs at like 15 FPS. It's not acceptable. And people need to stop accepting that. It's just going to continue into the next generation too, and they're going to just bother with, you know, Spider-Man having like 10 million polygons on his left armpit, and then the game will still run like shit. It's like, I don't care if I can see the thread on his left butt cheek. I want the game to actually run at a frame rate where it's actually playable. Tone down the polygons and the particle effects and the motion blur and the bloom, whatever. This game's fucking loading times. Is it stuck? Come on. What the fuck is this engine? This is like Notepad or something? It just loads forever sometimes. Load. I know it's not these people's PC either. I have an SSD and 32 gigs of RAM, and this game takes 30 years to load. Why couldn't the publishers just wait like 5 months and just make it PS5 exclusive and PC only, not PS4 and Xbox?
The arc reactor's nearby. Jarvis, are you picking up anything?
Locked on and ready, Commander Hill.
This is one of those games like the Final Fantasy VII Remake, which should not be on PS4. Should be PC and next gen only. But because they're greedy and they want money, they release a barely functional version of the game that you can barely play.
An elite AIM team is close by and on alert. Updating your HUD.
Incoming! Patience, goons, you're next.
Every member of the elite team must be defeated.
Now you see me? Not your smart.
Oh, that glorious, barely functional frame rate. On a $1,000 computer.
One of their agents is down.
This might hurt.
Excellent. Another agent down.
Hostile neutralized.
The team are no longer a threat. We'll need to take control of their systems. Get me to the location on your HUD.
These closers ran fine in single player, but the raids were a literal slideshow. It wasn't as bad as Critica, but it was barely playable. Especially with how that game works, where you have to really pay attention to the attacks that are being thrown at you, because you have to use your moves that make you invincible. And it's hard to do that when the game is running at like 15 FPS. It's like they design the bosses first, but then they don't bother to actually make it... They don't bother to make the game actually function as it should. They'll make, like, demanding combat, but then the game, like, barely works. Well, you can't...
Bypassing their security will take some time. Keep
You
the
can't
area
respond
clear, but stay
as
in range of
intended
the
when
control
the
point.
frame rate is that bad. It's, like, not possible to do so.
Here's an energy boost.
Rider punch!
Enemy down. This may shock you. Don't blink. Whoever trained you should be embarrassed. That stings.
I need more time. Keep the area free of hostiles.
Oh man, this hurts. Got one.
Maybe the frame rate will actually work at least. It won't run like shit like this does.
This may shock you. Act like cats. I'm trapped. Win.
No, we've been locked out.
More 10 hours of loading. This game's... It's like the game doesn't suck.
We'll need to
It's
take
just
control of their systems.
the fact that it's
Get me to the
Western
location
developed
on your
is what
HUD.
holds it back. Why couldn't they have gotten a Japanese team to do this? Combat's decent, but full of artificial
Bypassing their security
difficulty.
will take some time. Keep
Very
the area
awful
clear,
readability on,
but
like,
stay in range of the control
everything that's
point.
going on, and then you have the frame rate, which doesn't work. Runs like garbage.
Let's dance. Bagged one. Bye.
There is a special enemy unit close to your location. They may drop something useful if defeated. There is a chest with gear close by.
Good night.
I need more time. Keep the area free of hostiles.
Oh, this frame rate's making me sick. What the hell is wrong with this game?
Come on, let's keep fighting.
How do you make an action game, put it on PC, and make it run like garbage? Come on.
So you know.
There's like nothing I can do about it. It just runs like shit. Stop making action games that run like garbage. I'm sick and tired of it.
That stinks.
It's like frame rate's never a priority. It's always just the stupid graphics.
I'm through the first firewall. I'm working as quickly as possible.
Don't care if I can see the dirt on Captain America's shield. Make it run at 60 FPS, at least. Should be more than that. Starting to get annoying. Tired of graphics being prioritized over actually being able to play the game. It's like never a priority anymore. It's always how many polygons does Spider-Man have on his ass? I don't fucking care. Make the game actually function. They put out like all these patches and there's nothing for the main problem, it's just the frame rate.
Almost done. Hang in there.
Not being able to keep it together. You can't turn off particle effects either.
That's what I thought. They're done. Back off.
I've never liked Captain America. I think the Avengers are like the most boring Marvel heroes. I wish this was X-Men, but Disney hates the X-Men. Avengers are boring, honestly.
Let me help you out.
They have boring powers. Wish they would get over their petty hate of the X-Men. And let Japan make another X-Men game. I don't know, these characters are just boring for an action game. And powers suck. They're not interesting.
Nice work.
And I don't watch the movies either. I've never watched any of the movies. I don't really care to.
Bagged one. Bet that stinks.
Yeah, that's dumb too. I'm not gonna buy the game on PS4 where it runs even worse than this to play as Spider-Man. I'm sorry. It's just greed. The whole, like, character you can't play as because you're not playing it on console. Or you're not playing it on the right console. I'm sorry, that's some serious bullshit. If I don't want to play on the PS4, where everything runs like shit. I can't actually watch people play this game because the default options, the motion blur and the screen shake, like, legit gives me a headache.
What a waste.
It makes me physically sick. So, and apparently you can't turn off a lot of that stuff on the console. They only give you that option on PC, so I turned off all instances of motion blur, and I disabled the screen shake, and I made the camera wide. That's the only way that playing this does not actually impact me physically. I was trying to watch some streams earlier today, and everybody had it on default settings, so I was actually getting a headache from watching it. Really baffling decision. That shouldn't even be something you have to turn off. Like, you're making a AAA game, you're trying to, like, pander to the lowest common denominator and make as much money as possible.
If you can gain
but
control of AIM's network
a lot of people can't handle
temporarily,
screen shake
I
or
can
rapidly
infiltrate
moving
their
cameras.
security system.
There are very few people that can handle both. And in this game you have both, so If one doesn't get like give you motion sickness or a headache, the other one likely will. This game actually does have really nice accessibility features, though.
That was anticlimactic.
Like all the mashing QTEs you can turn off, which I think is really cool.
Head for the terminal so I can get you inside the lab.
Yeah, the camera and the screen shake and the blur was legit giving me a
AIM's
headache.
network is equipped
I don't
with a
know what they were
multi-point
thinking.
authentication system. I need
I get that they
access
want to show
multiple
like the
terminals.
impact of the
The more
attacks,
the better.
but a lot of people cannot handle that visually. I can't. I turn off screen shake in
AIM will
every
attempt
game
to
I play.
initiate a
That's one of the
shutdown
first things I
protocol if
do
they gain access to
when
the
I try a
terminal.
new game, is I turn
cannot
off
let
screen
them.
shake because it disorients my eyes and makes them get tired faster. I start to get eye strain.
Beginning infiltration. The shutdown protocol is progressing. AIM is trying to remove me from their systems. I'm inside AIM's security system.
People have they've lost their save files. Their save files have been corrupted. People have even lost the cosmetics that they paid for. Keep in mind the skins in this are like not even like priced in accordance to what the rest of the industry does. Like, you know, like a Dynasty Warriors costume is like $5 or something. They're like $15 here, and people are actually losing the ones that they paid for. That's how messed up this game is. People have like
That
actually
helps. Thank you.
fallen through the floor in the hub world, which makes it so that you can't play the game. I'm not exaggerating. I've had a pretty decent experience with this game, but I'm in the minority. The game just kind of works for me. The only thing that bothers me is the shit frame rate, but that's the game. It's not my
AIM is
computer.
trying to remove me from their
There's
system.
nothing I can do about that, but I haven't had any of those things happen. But there's numerous proof of that happening. I would be pissed if I
AIM
actually
has
bought one of the
initiated their
cosmetics
shutdown
on this and then the save file gets corrupted and you lose what you pay for. It definitely reeks of corporate meddling. I think the people that actually made the game are very passionate, and they're pretty talented. This game's got a lot of polish issues, but the foundation to it is actually not that bad. The game is fun to play when it's not artificially difficult. There's not glitching or deciding to run it
I'm inside AIM security.
20 FPS for no reason. So obviously they didn't want to compete with that Cyberpunk game, so they put this out. They put it out now and it's not ready. There was not enough time.
Energy boost. Enemy down. Whoever trained you should be embarrassed.
That helps. Thank you. Beginning infiltration. I'm inside AIM security system. I've breached AIM security network. I've marked our next destination on your HUD.
Well, I mean, if I was literally unable to play the game because the save file corrupts or the character spawns into the world out of bounds and I can't even play anymore. I think I think the reputation is warranted. I think there's a really good game hidden under here, but it's just barely functional right now. If I hadn't gotten that donation, I wouldn't have played this, but I've had a pretty decent experience with this. It hasn't been, like, unplayable.
There, up ahead.
But both the PC port and the polish this game has is, like, not in line with what you expect from
You made it.
a AAA game. It's more like what you would expect from, like, an indie early access game, where it's like... you know, you understand the game's made by, like, 3 people, and they're making barely any money, and they don't have the resources to test the game on computers or fix things quickly, or they don't have the game development experience to actually polish the game and stuff, and they need to get feedback. Like, that's totally fine, but we're dealing with
an arc reactor close by.
AAA game from,
Destroy
like,
it.
one of the biggest entertainment properties in the world, and it's
Look
this
for a chest with gear
non-functional.
nearby.
I think there's a problem.
Into the shadows.
Oh, Kamen Rider Memory of Heroes is coming out next month, Skate. I'll be playing that. That's gonna be my next major project.
Not doing so good.
I'm pretty excited for that game. That looks like that's gonna be really fun. What little gameplay they've shown. I'm really excited for that. It's gonna be my next big project. But until then, I'm just playing random shit like this. There's just nothing going on right now. It's a dry period.
The reactor is powered by 4 energy junctions. Destroying them should destroy the reactor.
The gameplay is more than serviceable. It's just everything else about the game ceases to function. That's the main issue. I'm sorry, but a AAA game should not be
Energy junction
corrupting
destroyed.
people's save files and voiding their cash shop purchases. Like, in no universe should that be happening, but it is with this game, which is really weird.
Bet that stinks.
What's up, Chaser? Hello, friend.
Guess I do, bud.
Widow! In some trouble here.
No, I didn't pre-order this game. Not that dumb. I got a donation that covered all but like $20 of this. That's the only reason I got it. And because I'm just bored right now, there's nothing else happening. I think the biggest problem they're gonna face with the future of this game is that it barely functions. It's functionally broken in so many ways. Like, I don't know how they're gonna meet their content deadlines. They're gonna have like all hands on deck to make sure that the game doesn't completely bomb. Most people don't like having their cash shop purchases deleted or their save file corrupted. Most sane people don't anyway.
Excellent. Another energy junction is gone.
Here's an energy
they can fix this game, but it's gonna be a hell of an ordeal to do it, because it barely works.
Guess I do bite. Now you're smart. I'm done going deep.
I hate the AI. I hate how they only go after me. They never go after the bots. It's really damn annoying. I hate when games do that.
Your eyes deceive you.
You have all the aggro, all the time. It's never the AI.
The arc reactor is powering down.
It's like my friend telling me how it works in Super Robot Wars, where the AI is programmed to, like, make a beeline for the player character, even when there's, like, 5 other units in front of them. That's how this game
We'll
feels.
continue monitoring AIM's
It's a lot
facilities.
more fun in the
Last
co-op,
thing we
but then
need
the
is a highly
co-op doesn't even
unstable
work,
arc
because
reactor
the
in their
matchmaking
hands.
is broken, so you can't even do that consistently. Yeah, the co-op doesn't even work. Maybe with this game's awful launch, maybe publishers will realize that you make more money when you actually give the developers time to make the damn game, and you don't rush them. Because this is what happens. This game is a perfect example of what happens. Like, just give them all the time they need. Push it back again if you have to. It's better than releasing something that barely works. And people are literally unable to play because they spawn out of bounds. I mean, you have to draw the line somewhere. I will say one thing though, I think it's actually really awesome. One of the best things this game does is it lets you skip the campaign completely. I have not touched the campaign. I played this for like 7 or 8 hours over the past few days, and I haven't had to touch the campaign. And I really like that. I feel like in any game with a heavy focus on multiplayer, that should always be an option. That's what makes stuff like Monster Hunter such a nightmare to play. Because to get to the actual meat of the game, you have to sit through unskippable cutscenes and, like, a really long-ass campaign. I think that's one of the coolest things this game does. I greatly appreciate that. That was one of the things that pushed me over the edge to give it a chance. I think that's actually really awesome. More games with a focus on grinding and, like, endgame and playing with your friends should have that option. I think that's really cool. Hardly anyone's talking about that either, and you have people that hate playing Monster Hunter because of how it forces you to sit through all the cutscenes, and playing with your friends is like this massive undertaking for some reason, when it should be like one of the main things that you get the game for. So, I really like that. Yeah, that's definitely the best thing this game does, is it lets you just go straight into the end game. Well, not the end game, but the post game would probably be a better word for it. Because you start way weaker than you would if you actually did finish the story. But I think it's awesome that if you could get this game to work, which is kind of an ordeal in itself. You could theoretically just buy the game with your friends and just go online instantly. I think that's really cool. There are a lot of much more well-polished games that don't allow you to do that. And I think that's one thing this game really does excel at. Is giving you the freedom to just play with your friends, no bullshit. Let's see if I can get some people tired of playing the AI. I tried Monster Hunter World off a friend's account, and I got tired of all the damn cutscenes. I had been playing it for like half an hour, and I had like maybe 3 minutes of actual gameplay, like controlling the character. I'm like, fuck this, I'm uninstalling. I really don't care about these characters. I couldn't even get to the point where I could play, because I was stuck in forced walking sections, and talking, and unskippable cutscenes. I'm glad this game just lets you bypass all that. Which I think is pretty good foresight when they add more characters and they make this game actually function as intended. And people are going to start buying it in droves because they'll probably drop the price to like $20 by the end of this year. Yeah, you will be able to just try out all the new stuff instantly and not have to sit through a bunch of crap. I would be willing to give the campaign a chance. I hear the campaign is the best part of this game, but then I hear that people are getting locked out.
Hill, I come bearing gifts.
Stuck.
Like their game is like
Bearing
soft locked
impatience.
and literally doesn't
Fair
function anymore.
Truth is, we know where your favorite bone-faced turncoat is hiding out, and not even the word fortress accurately describes it.
And if Taskmaster got any data from AIM before you rescued our agents, he's gonna be prepared for anything I might throw at him.
Ding, ding, ding. Luckily, you've got the incomparable, unanticipatable Avengers on your side. Would you like me to pull up Agent Master's files?
Wouldn't be any use. His photographic muscle memory means he's a new beast
Hey,
every
you
time
can't
we meet
skip
him.
this.
Too bad. Was hoping for some embarrassing ID photos or questionable credit card purchases.
I'm not an Avengers nerd. I find them very boring. X-Men are way more interesting. But Disney hates the X-Men, and they own like everything we consume now.
I'm detecting
so
an AIM patrol in the area. Aw, they missed
I miss
me.
the X-Men. I
Let's
don't
go
like
say
these
hi.
characters. They're boring.
We got company. All right, who's first?
You're...
Got one.
Oh, you picked the wrong ship.
There's the patrol.
Jarvis, find out if Taskmaster knows we're coming. We've got some ass to kick. Certainly, sir.
Holy shit, this frame rate's making me sick. I'm out of here.
Tank's getting kind of low here.
Yeah, the frame rate's getting kind of low. What the hell is wrong with this game? I heard about that ice level just having even worse performance. It's great. I love it. Running at like 40 FPS. Fuck that. It's like making me nauseous. The X-Men are way more suited for a game like this than the Avengers. They all have really boring powers. And like half of them are super slow. I wish they would just not use these characters and use the X-Men again. They're way more suited for an action game than these people. I don't understand why they have such a fixation on these characters. They're not really interesting. At least not to me. I don't care for any of them. They have like the most boring powers for like a video game setting. It's kind of like Dragon Ball. How Dragon Ball is like a mess narrative-wise and it's full of filler. But it's a really damn awesome franchise to make video games out of. Kind of like how Star Wars is right now. Star Wars is a mess, but it's still an awesome property to make games out of. Gundam's a pretty good example, too. Gundam's a mixed bag, but you know, the appeal of playing as big-ass robots with like big swords and rifles and shit is something that will always be appealing, even if the source material isn't always that consistently great. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 was a mess, honestly. That game made me sick with the frame rate too, and then the load times are even worse. It doesn't help that like all the stuff they added after the game came out was it was like 90% loading. You'd play for like a minute and then load for like 90 seconds. It was really got old really quickly. That game should not have been on the Switch.
Guess I do, bud.
Hey guys, not doing so good.
Bring the pain, people!
Victory! We did good, didn't we? That'll teach 'em.
Here's an energy boost. What a waste.
That's how it's done.
Ultimate Alliance 3 is a good one playthrough game, but it's got a number of problems. The frame rate is really bad. If you do like the game enough to keep playing it, you're gonna spend probably more than maybe like 60% of your time waiting for it to load. Which I don't know about you, but I'm not getting any younger, so the game is like mostly just waiting for it to load, and it's not something I want to invest a lot of time into. Also, the gear is quite boring. You can't really make interesting builds in that game. People are complaining about the gear in this game. This game has way more exponentially interesting gear than Ultimate Alliance 3 does. Everything in that game is just do more damage. There's nothing that like actively changes your playstyle. The loot in this game is not great either, to be fair, but you can make some interesting builds. People have already found some pretty broken stuff. In Ultimate Alliance 3, it's just stacking damage. And that's like the only thing you have to keep you playing, is just stacking damage. Which kind of works in its own way because the combat doesn't have much depth. But for me, it lost its luster really quickly. The game has a kick-ass roster, though. I mean, no matter what Marvel property or group of characters you like, I'm sure there's going to be at least like 1, 2, or even 3 of them you'll like to play as. I think the roster is one thing that game did really well. You know, I don't watch the Marvel movies. I don't really watch many movies in general, so having the Avengers and stuff in the game doesn't really motivate me to buy the game. But they had the X-Men and stuff, and I'm a 90s kid. You know, I was born in the 80s, so I grew up with the X-Men, and they had them all in there. Not all of them, but the majority of the major ones. That's like one of the first post-Marvel Cinematic Universe games to actually have the X-Men in there with no bullshit. Like, they're just there, there's no, like, random stipulations or whatever.
Bye for now.
The only X-Men character that was DLC in Ultimate Alliance 3 was Phoenix. Everybody else was in the base game.
Here's an energy boost.
I think they were? I don't know. I stopped playing. The game wasn't deep enough, and the technical issues really killed a lot of the enjoyment. You get the double whammy of playing a video game on console in 2019, which is shit frame rate and abysmal load times. You get the best of the worst. That's basically Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 in a nutshell.
That stinks.
Doors down.
At least a lot of the games that run like shit on console load
what I
fast. But with that game, you get the worst of both worlds.
Full fresh.
Kind of low. This may be a sit.
Oh my god, this frame rate! You need to fix this shit.
This will hurt. This may shock you.
The enemies have been defeated.
Like how getting next to that big spider robot just makes the frame rate go down to like negative 15. I don't know what this game is coded in. It must be coded in like Photoshop, or maybe it's running like a it's running the game on in a like Dynasty Warriors 9 client or something. Yeah, that's the only explanation I have for how poorly it runs. And it's just like no like reasoning to it either. It's just something you just have to accept when you play this game. I don't mind the combat. It's actually more than acceptable. It's just the shit performance is what really kills it. But this game does not memory leak on me. I played it for like 2 or 3 hours. I've heard a lot of people say they can't play this for more than 2 or 3 hours without restarting it because it memory leaks. And I don't know if I just have the lucky combination of PC components to make that work, or if it's because I have 32 gigs of RAM. It very well could be both. I know that the game just like eats up a lot of RAM really quickly, so the less you have, I guess, the quicker that will happen. Maybe if I played it like all day, maybe it would start doing that, but I have not had any issues with that. It's only crashed a few times. It's mostly just the really bad, inconsistent performance is what I have trouble with. This feels like this should not have been on current generation consoles if PC can't even run it. But they want their money, so they put out something that barely works, which is obviously backfiring. I think the Metacritic's at like 72 right now. Which for a game like this, which has a massive budget and marketing and shit, and is based on one of the most popular entertainment properties in the world, that's not good. But I mean, people went out in droves to see that last Star Wars movie, and then no one actually liked it. So I mean, who knows? I saw the first of the new Star Wars movies and had no interest in going to see the other ones. Seems like, from what I heard, that was a good choice. Didn't help, I almost got hit by a car that day too, so I kind of associate those movies with almost dying. Worst bugs I've heard of in this is spawning out of bounds, so you actively can't play the game. The campaign, certain triggers not working, so the campaign becomes unplayable. Your save file getting deleted, and then the cosmetics you pay for getting deleted too. Those are the most severe bugs that I've heard of. Crashing and then really bad performance are the other ones.
Intel provided by our friends at SHIELD has revealed the location of an elite AIM squad. We have an opportunity to take them out before AIM can deploy the squad against the resistance. This is a quick hit-and-run operation. Take out the targets and return to us unharmed if possible.
Yeah, what other game can your
AIM team
character
is close by and on alert.
spawn out of
Updating your
bounds and render the game literally unplayable? I think it's only this one. And I've played some jank-ass games. I like a lot of small niche games, and I play indie games are like more than half of what I play now, and I've never had an indie game do that kind of thing to me.
That'll teach 'em.
Yeah, but those asset swaps don't erase your save file. I've played my fair share of jank, but nothing quite as notorious as this. I don't have much patience, Chaser. I'm just really bored right now. And I was donated money to get this, so I'm playing it. I really don't have much
Every member of
patience.
the elite team must be
I'm actually
defeated.
going to play some Assault Spy shortly, after this level. I need to wash the bad taste out. Play something good. Especially since he's adding fucking Kamen Rider
Trained you should be embarrassed.
Kamen Rider 5's Axel Form Rider kicks in that game. There's still at least one more update coming. I'm hella excited for that.
One of their agents is down.
Now I'm mad. Never smarts me.
Oh, this frame rate! What is this, like the N64 era?
Excellent.
Why do these
Another
robots just
agent
tank the
down.
frame rate? Like, what kind of spaghetti code do they have? Like, what? Why does the monster shooting... Why does the robot shooting fire just completely destroy the frame rate to the point where you can barely react to attacks?
Again.
The team are no longer a threat.
I sucked, everyone.
I never understood why people liked L Sword.
Good job, Avengers. With this victory,
I never saw the
you've
appeal of
weakened
that
AIM
game.
and given the resistance a leg
Even
up.
when it came out, it
Keep
was
it
very
up.
stiff and dated, and not fun to play. I never got the fixation on that game. Alright, let's play something that functions. That functions better, that was made by one person. It was better combat, better frame rate, like better everything, except graphics. Oh, hold on, controller's not working. Yeah. Hey, look, we added fibers to reuse left butt crack, but now the game runs at 10 FPS. There you go, graphics fiends. Got the graphics you want, but now the game doesn't work. Looking forward to a lot of that next gen. Game's barely working, but still having shit frame rates. Feels weird playing this on hard mode when I just beat the hardest difficulty a couple weeks ago. This feels so much easier. This game's hardest difficulty is legit hard. Like how the PS4 Pro, they were talking about up to 60 FPS, and it's like, yeah, if you're looking at the ground and there's no actors loaded on the screen. Reminds me of the GoldenEye. Have you ever watched like GoldenEye speedruns? Like they actually look at the ground in those speedruns. They maneuver through the levels looking at the ground because it improves the frame rate. I'm not exaggerating either. Some people call GoldenEye speedruns like a vacuum cleaning simulator because the N64 could like barely run the game. So they actually like, if you ever watch those speedruns, that's why they're always looking at the ground because the game like loads less or something. Be right back. I like how the guy who made this is a Kamen Rider fan, so there's lots of references. He has like Clock Up, he has Fai's Axel form, he has Kabuto Rider Kick. This right there, that's Kabuto's Rider Kick. It's one of the most satisfying moves to land too. One of my favorite moves in the game. It's just hard to find a point where you can land it. It's funny how much more responsive this game is than Avengers. The performance is staying above 60 FPS at all times. Unless I use the Captain Corridor move with Amelia on like 8 enemies at once. The frame rate does drop a lot, but it stays above 60, so it's no biggie. Case in point right there.
Danger.
Both models are loaded at once. That's not supposed to happen.
もうビビったんじゃねえよな。
Shit drop. Shit drop. Like always. Resets in 2 hours. I kind of like, I would like to play Avengers more, but I'm getting really sick of the frame rate. I think it's like legit making me nauseous. I feel a little sick to my stomach. I can't handle rapidly decreasing frame rates. I just can't do it. I had to stop playing Gundam Breaker 3 for the same reason too. Like that game was making me sick. That game was way worse though because it barely held 30 FPS and it dropped so much more. I really liked that game. It was like that was like the perfect game for me, like a character action looter. But it runs on a really bad engine and it just doesn't function, so I had to shelve it. I wish they had just ported that game and made it better and put that on PC instead of making that other one they did that sucked. It's a shame that that game is, you can't play it at a good potential as the performance is so bad. You want to see how bad the forums are? I'll show you just how messed up this game is. Let me pull it up. Let's see what issues people are experiencing with this game. I think I've seen everything at this point. Garbage game, crashing like crazy. Frame rate help. Setting the graphics to potato does not help the frame rate. Yeah, exactly. The engine is just messed up. It doesn't really seem to be... Doesn't seem like the graphics options really fix much of anything. The only thing that really helped me was going into the control panel and locking it to 60 FPS. My computer is capable of running it at like 120 sometimes when there's very little action going on, but it was stuttering and dropping way more. As soon as I locked it to 60 and turned VSync on, it made it relatively playable. CPU 100% optimization and an FPS problem. Worse than Arkham Knight when it first came out. This is just the first page. there's like barely anybody actually talking about playing the game. Finish the breakout mission out, won't let me continue. The game still dips to 12 FPS on a super machine. Impossible to finish the game. Crashes. Crashed 4 times today and 5 yesterday. Higher difficulty is useless. I never wanted to get my money back before. Anthem 2.0. How stable is the game? Not stable. It barely works. Multiplayer not working. Frame rate drop. Not playable. Black screen when starting up. Fix the AI. Oh man. Maybe this game will be the it'll be the catalyst for publishers not giving developers time to actually finish the damn game. I hope that maybe they'll learn their lesson this time, because this is what happens. They've got another Batman Arkham Knight situation on their hands. They're promising new content within the next month, and the game barely even works, so I would not be surprised if it gets delayed, and that just kills the player base even more. The matchmaking doesn't work, the frame rate is bad, people are getting soft-locked, losing their save files, and their paid cosmetics. And you mean to tell me they're gonna put out a new character in a month? Like, you should fix the game first, so that it's actually something resembling a functional product. The problem is that if they delay the character, then the game's probably gonna lose a lot of its luster really quickly. I think they're in a really shitty situation. I really don't know how they can fix it. It's just corporate greed. Is what's wrong with that game. We need the game out now, even though it doesn't even work. Yeah, it's obviously coming back to bite them. This game is trash. That's why it's so hard to find good games on Steam, because there's lots of meme games like that on here, and it's just endless clutter. A lot of these games would like fit on like Newgrounds from like 18 years ago, unfortunately. And there's a lot of really good stuff in here, but you really have to look through a lot of crap to find it, and that's why I do this, because I find a lot of really cool games in here, but a lot of it is not good. Okay, this is some Toho type thing. That looks kind of cool, besides the characters. I've seen this one. Okay, so apparently there is a windstorm coming tonight, and my power bank is not charged. So I think I'm actually going to charge that up, and I'll probably come back when KOF drops, or the reset happens in like an hour and a half. I didn't really have anything else planned. I wanted to play Avengers some more, but the frame rate was kind of starting to make me feel sick, and that's not good. Especially when I've had problems with acid reflux and stuff. It's just that's asking for it. They really need to fix that game, but man, their work is cut out for them. That game barely works. I played indie early access games on launch day that are more stable and functional than that game, and that's saying a lot. Like I haven't played an indie game that's like wiped my save file or blue screened my computer. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and charge this up. I'm gonna charge up my power bank, and then actually, hold on. Let's see if there's a way I can do this without. Yeah, I'm just gonna take a break. I'll probably come back before KOF reset, and I'm not doing the reviving hell dungeon tonight because I think it's gonna take like another 3 or 4 days before all my characters are ready. So uh, I'll probably just be on there for like 20 minutes, finish up Infinite Battle and stuff, and then that'll be it. And then maybe I'll attempt to play Avengers again, but no promises. Alright, I will see you guys shortly.